Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the Offside Show. Woo! Yes, sir. Give it up for your host of the night, which is me, Demo. And yeah, guys, how is your week doing so far? I mean, I honestly want to die. And I mean, it's because we're already on finals weeks and a lot of stress going on right now. A lot of final exams, a lot of final projects. But I'll try to take this with joy and enjoy everything because this is my last semester and literally 3 weeks from now I'll be already graduate. So I'll take this with joy because I'll never be a student again. So might as well just take this with happiness and enjoy as much as I can because after I graduate now I gotta meet with all the societal expectations. I gotta find a job and all these kind of stuff that adulthood life means. But anyway, um I mean, I'm just kind of nostalgic because I'm not sad to be honest with you because I already want to graduate. It's been a long journey and I'm done with school. I'm done with writing essays and all that kind of stuff. I hate homework. But yeah, basically this is my last week of class because next week is Thanksgiving and I don't have class since Wednesday, but a lot of my classes are already canceled since Monday. I think actually I just have one class on Monday and it's at 9:30. So basically I have the whole week for myself. Well, I have to do a lot of final projects like I said, but I don't have to come class to school. And on my last week, which is 2 weeks from now, um I basically have no class anymore. I just had to be here and do my final projects or like do my final exams, and that's pretty much it. Literally, my last day of school officially for me, it's on the 5th of the December, but I don't have class on Friday. I mean, yeah, on fifth of December. So basically, my last day of school is at December 4th, and wow, I can't believe I'm graduating already. But thank God. And I'm thinking probably I'm gonna keep studying, but we're not here to talk about my life. Uh, as usual, you're just here to hear me complain or to give you an update about my life. And but yeah, there's no time to be sad because World Cup is around the corner, guys, and we almost have all the teams qualified. So this week, even though I hate international duty, this week it's been an interesting week because the Euro qualifier, like the UEFA qualifiers, they finally over, and we already have like all the qualified teams from Europe. Well, most of them, because um, there's teams that gotta fight for. I'm sorry, I need to translate this word, and it doesn't exist. But a lot of people gotta go to play like a playoff team to qualify to the World Cup. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We already have like the most important teams that are gonna be playing the World Cup 2026: Mexico, United States, and Canada. Whoa! The first time I'm gonna see a World Cup that is gonna be placed on this side. I mean, not nah. I mean, Brazil was on this side of the world, but what I mean is like where I live, because if I have luck, I'll be able to go to watch any a match of the World Cup either here at the U.S., hopefully at Mexico as well. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And the way I want to run this podcast today, it's a bit different. I don't want to go over the matches and see what the teams are doing really good or what are they lacking and stuff like that. Because the qualifiers are over for most of the leagues. I don't know about I think the for the Oceania, it's already over, and they just have one spot. Who cares about Oceania? Conmebol, I know that it's over. I think it was like the last month when the qualifier were over. CONCACAF, I think yesterday was the last day as well. Um, The UEFA was over yesterday. And yeah, I mean, I don't know about Africa, and I don't know about Asia either. But the most important thing, it's really late for me. I'm not trying to underestimate any team, of course. But the ones that I care the most is, of course, UEFA and CONMEBOL. And I mean, CONCACAF, because Mexico plays there, but CONCACAF is low key boring as hell. And Mexico had they qualified directly because they're the host. And yeah. But anyway, the way I want to run this podcast today is just I want to take a hot take, guys. I want to give you the teams that I believe are going to win the World Cup, and I'm going to be in order. So I'm warning you guys, probably you're going to hate the first team I'm going to say. I believe it's going to be the World Cup winner. And like I said, I'm going to be in order, and I'm not doing this. I mean, I did like a research itself. Like I can prepare today, guys, not like last week. Um, but this is more of what I feel and based on what I know about soccer and what I understand about the players and everything and the teams. It's not based like on objectivity itself. I mean, we can say it's objective because, like I said, this is based on research, but this is also what I feel, you know. And yeah, I mean, if you guys are ready, I'm fucking ready. And before I'll give you my first team that I believe like the who's actually winning the World Cup, I just want to tell you that I believe, I mean, not I believe, I hope it's an American team. But spoiler alert, my first take, it's not an American team. Because there's only two teams that can compete for the World Cup, and it's Brazil and it's Argentina. And let's be honest, Brazil, nah, they're not there. And Argentina, it's gonna be here on this list. But yeah, let's just go straight to business, guys. And my first take, the one I believe is gonna win the World Cup 2026. I go for England. Okay. I mean, probably a lot of you might disagree with me, but you cannot deny those guys are a serious contender for the World Cup. Maybe not a lot of people are going to put him at first, but I do believe they're going to win the World Cup. Um, Let me tell you why. And England, right now, they have a solid squad in all positions. I actually believe they have an excess of quality, actually, that maybe this could be kind of counterproductive, but I don't believe it, to be honest, because it's a young squad. Those guys are hungry and they also have experience. But if we review what they've been doing this qualifier and the last couple of years, so first of all, those guys were the finalists on the Euro 2024. So we're talking it's 2 years from now, well, 1 year and a half. But also from the qualifiers, those guys finished undefeated. They won 8 matches. That's an amazing stat because it's a proof that those guys are playing good, they're winning, and they're ready for the World Cup. I mean, we're 6 months away, 7 months away from the World Cup, and they finished undefeated. And this, I mean, the good thing or the bad thing about the qualifiers is not just everything on a year. I mean, these qualifiers been playing probably for the last 2 years. So, like I said, since the Euro, England it's been playing good. Um, I don't really like Thomas Tuchel, but that guy when he arrived Chelsea, it was like half of the season, and Chelsea was the Champions League champion. So we gotta believe on him. And I mean, he already proved himself that he can win big trophies with a team that it might not look really good. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but that Chelsea was really trash. And then Thomas Tuchel arrived, and out of nowhere they became the Champions League winners. So, like I said, I don't really like Thomas Tuchel. When he was at Bayern Munich, I think he did kind of an awful job. At PSG, he was doing good. I think he got into the Champions League final. Yeah, and they lost against Liverpool. It was. I remember, but I know they got into the Champions League final with Tuchel, and then he got it with Chelsea to the Champions League, and they won it. So Thomas Tuchel, I mean, he already know what it's been on that kind of environments. He knows the pressure. I mean, I think being on a World Cup champions, what am I saying? I think being on a World Cup final, it's way harder than being on a Champions League final. Especially because the I like this about international teams that you don't cannot build a team year per year per year. You gotta rely on which players are available, which one is not injured, who's playing good, the new young stars, the old stars, and everything. It's like you gotta. I mean, every single match you don't have like a 11 starter because you always gotta try like different players that are playing good, or the players that were playing good now are playing bad. So there's a lot of complexity on being a manager of a international squad because a lot of players go in, a lot of players go out, and yeah, that's the essence of the international duty. But also, what I believe England it's gonna be the World Cup champions is because guys, Harry Kane is unstoppable right now. That guy have 78 goals in 112 matches, and this season and I mean, and this stat is just based on international games that he played. He's been scoring a lot of goals, and that guy is unstoppable. I mean, he's next to Holland. I've been saying this for since I started my podcast. The Harry Kane is the best striker next to Erling Holland, and it depends on what you like. A lot of people might say Harry Kane it's the best striker, and I can agree with that because he is more a supportive striker, but he also scored a lot of goals, and I totally agree with people who says that Harry Kane is the best striker. For me personally, it's Holland, but Harry Kane is not that far from Holland to be honest. Um, but also this season, that guy had played 22 matches between um club, Bayern Munich, and England, and he had 28 goals plus 3 assists. So he have more goal scorers than matches played. So that guy is on fire, and if he can keep this rhythm to the end of the season, we're gonna see a Harry Kane that is on fire at the World Cup, and I want to see that, guys. You know, the only problem with England is that I like to say that England is the same as Arsenal. Those guys, they don't like to win. They're cursed to win. They're afraid to win. And I believe this all goes to all the English teams. There are a bunch of butlers. I think that's the word that they use on England. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't really know. But the word in Spanish is pecho frío. England is a bunch of pecho frios, and like Arsenal, the worst enemy of England it's England itself. The worst enemy of Arsenal is Arsenal itself. And if you look at the English teams, even though they have the best league in the world, they have the best teams, they have the best players, they got personally the best idea of playing football, soccer. Those guys they don't have the courage to face these kind of situations. They are a bunch of pecho frios. They are scared to play finals. They don't have the courage to do that. And that's the only problem I see with England. That's my first take for they can become the World Cup champions. But I understand that if those guys don't put the heart on the games. They don't actually want to win and don't and get nervous as hell as they usually do. They ain't gonna win it, of course. But I put my trust on England because yeah, I don't see other. I honestly, I mean, anything can happen. But I see England. I feel England. This is the year for England. It's gonna be funny because it's gonna be Arsenal and England, and I believe 2026 is gonna be a good year for those teams. But let's see what happens. Um, if you look at the squad, those guys they have a mixture of young players and experienced players. So we have Cole Palmer, who's now injured, but Cole Palmer, bro, he's a maniac. He won the World Cup club by himself, and we got Harry Kane, who's on fire, currently on fire, and if we know something about Harry Kane is that he is a reliable player. He always there. I never seen a bad season from Harry Kane, to be honest. He always be scoring goals. Um, Probably he scored more goals in one season than other, but he always there. He always fighting for the Golden Boot. He always on the conversation that he can be maybe the Ballon d'Or, and yeah, that guy is just unstoppable. Um, so we got also Trent Alexander Arnold, who that guy is kind of young, but I I can see him also being like an already experienced guy. He already won the Champions League and he won everything with Liverpool. So I think that guy it's kind of be like a mix of young player and as an experienced guy. We got Saka, we got Wehi, we got Stones on the defensive line. We got Bellingham, we got Rice because I believe he's more of an experienced player because he's like 26-year-old. He's not that young, but he's young. I mean, he's fucking young as hell. But what I mean it's like he's not on his early 20s, you know? So I believe Rice he already have a lot of experience. And yeah, I just believe even though they have like an excess of quality, um I think all the positions are covered in a way. I think they have the most players in the midfield, but as long as Tuchel knows how to put them all together, they're gonna be an unstoppable team. It's like for example on Spain. A lot of people, I don't know if you remember, but a lot of people were questioning Vicente del Bosque because he was putting Busquets and Xavi Alonso playing on the same squad. And look what happened. At the end, they won the World Cup. And I feel there's a lot of people that don't believe that Cole Palmer can play next to, for example, Bellingham. I mean, this is a bad example, but I cannot think about other players that play on the midfield for England. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, for example, on the final against Spain in the Euro 24. Like, well, Cole Palmer was the bench, and then he went in and scored a fucking goal. Like, you know, you gotta, because, yeah, on the 2024, they had Bellingham, Foden, Rice, Maino. I don't know why Maino play as a starter. But yeah, I think the starting lineup potentially could be a line of three midfielders with Declan Rice as the defensive center mid, and then up top Jude Bellingham and Cole Palmer. So that'll be really fun to see. And but yeah, guys, that's my first hot take. I believe this is the year for Arsenal and England, and let's see if I'm wrong. Uh, I'll probably be wrong because, like I said, you cannot rely on England. It's like Arsenal. Even though they're doing the right thing, they're undefeated, they got the best players. You cannot rely on them. But anyway, I'll stand with what I think, what I believe, and I believe England. It's gonna be the champion of the World Cup 2026. And then my second hot take, it's of course who else? France. And guys, let's be honest. Those guys, they've been finalists for 2 consecutive World Cup. That's an equal of 8 straight years of consistency. And the team for 2018, it was totally different from the team of 2022. I mean, the midfielder was on 2018 Kante and Pogba. And on 2022, I think Kante was still there, but Pogba was not there. Let me look for the World Cup final lineups of 2022. To see who was the lineup for France on the midfield. Um, dang, they don't have it here. Oh yeah, I mean it was Chouameni instead of. I mean that's what I'm saying. You get rid of Pogba, which is 10 times better than Chouameni. But Chouameni is a good player. He's really strong. I mean, last season a lot of people was killing him because he was playing as a defender, as a center back, and he's not a center back. But yeah, the midfielder was with Chouameni instead of this guy Pogba. And I'm trying to see who else was at the midfield. It was Rabiot. Cause I don't like Rabiot, but he's one of the favorite players from Didier Deschamps, the coach from France. And anyway, those guys being finalists for 2 consecutive World Cups, so that just talks about how consistent they are. And like I said, they've been evolving in players. It's not the same team that it was on 2018 that it was on 2022. So I believe they got a lot of chances to be World Cup winners. I mean, Mbappe, it's on good shape right now, and he's the best player in the world. None of us can argue that. And same as England, they have a lot of quality and solid squad everywhere. They got a solid defensive line, midfield, and an attacker line. The biggest problem I see with France is that they might lack of a lot of experience. You know, they have bunch of good players. They have Olise, Barcola, Doué, Cherky, William Saliba on the defensive line. But if you see the age of those guys, they all under 25-year-old. So Doué and Barcola, they already won a Champions League, but they won 5-0 against Inter de Milan. So like they say on UFC, they haven't been on deep waters yet. So we don't know what they can do on deep waters. For example, we know what can Mbappe do on deep water. They were losing 2-0 on minute 80, and then Mbappe scored a brace to tie the game, and then he scored a penalty kick on the second halftime, on the second time of the extra time. So I feel the only experienced guy they have for France right now, probably the goalkeeper Magnan, and I'll say Mbappe. But the problem with Mbappe is that I don't feel he's a leader. He's not like Ronaldo, to be honest. But we know he can carry the team. He can carry the whole team by its own. And sometimes that can be enough. Like I said, that guy was carrying France on 2022. Argentina was outplaying them. And then Mbappe, out of nowhere, he was like, nah, now it's my turn, dumbasses. And then he did what he won against Argentina. At the end, it wasn't enough because it's a team sport. But, Mbappe, we all know what Mbappe is capable of, guys. So that's my second hot take, who I believe is going to win the World Cup. I hope I'm right. I hope at least I can, one of the teams that I mentioned, become the World Cup winner. And do I have anything else to say about France? I don't think so. So let's move on with my third hot take. And guess who? Guys, of course, the current World Cup champion, What? Yeah, World Cup champion. Argentina. And well, I had to make a small stop because something happened and I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, guys, Argentina as my third take to be the World Cup winner for 2026. They're the current champions, guy. And I know many of you might disagree because a lot of people believe that Messi is the main reason of why Argentina won the World Cup on 2022, which is kind of true. And well, Messi, of course, is not longer on the best shape on best shape. But you know, guys, Argentina, you know what's good about them? It's that they play as a team. And all the credit to Lionel Scaloni, the coach from Argentina. Because, for example, if you guys think about Argentina's squad on 2022, Otamendi was playing. And with all the respect I have for Otamendi, because he is already a World Cup winner, but Otamendi for me is not a good center back. I mean, he's okay. He's not a bad center back at all. But for me, he's not a good center back. Um, but he knows what to do as a team. He knows how to position well. He don't make himself in trouble. He just play simple, and I think that's the main fact of Argentina. They play simple. Why? Because they play as a team. And like I said, this is all Lionel Scaloni work. I mean, if you remember, Argentina in 2018, they were trash as a team because they had good players, of course. But after that, they Scaloni was the one on charge, and it's a whole different team compared to 2018, and that's why they won the World Cup in 2022. Um, to be honest, I feel Argentina have a lot of chance to win the World Cup because they finished first at CONMEBOL as well. And a lot of people might be saying like, but it's CONMEBOL. There's not good teams at CONMEBOL. It's not the UEFA qualification, which is harder. Bunch of bullshit, guys. Because in CONMEBOL, you have to play twice each team. And South America is bigger than Europe. You got to travel longer distance. Plus, players came from Europe. They had to travel to America, to South America, and then they got to adjust to the jet lag and all that kind of stuff. And then they got to travel from the country they are from to the different country. And like I said, South America, it's bigger than Europe. And so the travels there are bigger. It's more time they had to travel, longer distance. And there's also worst equipment, worst stadiums. I mean, it's not the same going to play any team, for example. I'm thinking, let's say Ukraine. It's not the same going to Ukraine than going to Venezuela, for example. You know, of course, the quality in Ukraine are better than Venezuela. And let's take aside the war stuff and everything. I'm talking about there's teams on Ukraine that play Champions League. And in Venezuela, we all know Venezuela, it's a country that they have a really bad economic situation and all that kind of stuff. So people from CONMEBOL play on worst stadiums, worst conditions. The weather is also a factor to take into consideration. For example, in Bolivia, the altitude from Bolivia, it's like a lot, like 4,000 feet. I don't know the right word in English. I'm sorry. But the altitude, they basically playing on the sky. That's what I'm trying to say. They play on the mountains, and the earth quality there is less. I mean, and it's not the earth quality, but there's less air that you can breathe. You know, you have less capacity of like respiratory capacity. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. Um, and for example, like I said, you gotta play twice. You gotta play twice against every single team, and there's a lot of good teams. I mean, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Uruguay. Right now, Ecuador, and then Chile. 10 years ago, they were good. I think the only two teams that are really bad at CONMEBOL, it's Venezuela and Bolivia. But Peru sometimes gives you the surprise. And I'm forgetting one team because it should be 10. Don't kill me, guys. Don't kill me. I have it right here. It's Paraguay. Paraguay is also good sometimes. I mean, they just beat Mexico 2-1. I'm gonna talk about that later today, because I'm gonna roast Mexican national squad for the second time in this podcast. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. But a lot of people don't really know these countries from Europe. Like I said, I mean, I know people don't know Bolivia. I know people might not know Paraguay as well, and they believe that those are trash teams. And to be honest, it depends who you ask, because the next argument I'm gonna say here is, for example, England. Who they play? They just played 8 matches. It was against Albania, Serbia, Lithuania, and Andorra. Those national squads for me are bad, trash. I confidently believe that Venezuela is better than Andorra and Lithuania. But this is what I'm trying to say. It depends on who you ask, to be honest. Because if you ask an European, probably they're gonna say like, nah, probably Lithuania is way better, Andorra is way better than Venezuela. The level here in Europe is better. Eurocentric shit. Nah, nothing against Europeans. I love you guys. I love everyone. But yeah, I mean, if you see the teams that England faced these qualifiers, Albania, it's never been to the World Cup. Serbia, it's been on the World Cup 3 times in history. Lithuania, 0 times. Andorra, 0 times. So is actually European qualifiers harder than South American qualifiers? I think Europeans just only like to complain, because they also said, the Italian Gattuso, the coach, he said press conference that I have it right here. He said it's not fair that in South America 6 teams qualified, and the seventh place can go to the playoffs things, that so they can get a gain and spot. While here, the groups are really closed, and I don't agree with that, because of course, yeah, I also believe it's not good that 6 teams out of 10 qualify directly to the World Cup. But in UEFA, you have 16 spots to qualify to the World Cup. So don't complain about that. It's literally 10 more places at it. It's 10 more places in UEFA than CONCACAF, than CONMEBOL. So what are you complaining? And if you review the the team from I'm so mad at Gattuso because he said that. But he's not the only one who thinks is like that. Like I said, probably most of Europeans think about like that. But Italy had to play against Israel, Estonia, Moldavia, and Norway. Which Norway, just because Haaland and Odegaard are there right now, and Sorloth, they're good. But imagine Norway. The last time they qualified to the World Cup, it was in 1998. So Italy, come on, Gattuso, you shouldn't be complaining, because you had a really easy group. A really easy group. Like I said, I honestly believe Peru is better than Moldavia, than Estonia, than Israel. I honestly believe that. But it's the same. It's the same thing. It depends on who you ask and why and what they believe and how they see soccer, how they see football. It is what it is. But for example, even France, those guys had to play against Ukraine, Iceland, and Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan has never been in a World Cup. Iceland, yeah, they've been once, and it was on 2018 when there was like a lot of this hype where they were doing this celebration with the crowd where they were clapping. They wait a time, clap again. I don't know if you guys remember. And Ukraine, it's just been to the World Cup once in a lifetime as well. And it was on 2006 when Shevchenko was there, the Ballon d'Or Shevchenko. So is actually European qualifiers harder than South American qualifiers? First, they got to play less matches. So, well, I mean, it's a good case of study. And to be honest, the game in Europe is cleaner than South America. I mean, people here in South America, those guys are rough as hell. They're dirtier. And they play with heart, you know? They play with heart. They play with passion. They want to win. Even though they're not as best as the other team, they don't give a fuck. They're going to hit you hard in the leg so you don't want to dribble them anymore. And that's how soccer, football in South America works. It is what it is. Probably the European football, they have a better idea of soccer. I mean, I'm talking about soccer itself, like how they distribute the game, the passes, all the movement, the formations, you know. But in South America, those guys are tough, man. Those guys like to hit, and they don't give a fuck who you are. So, same question. Are actually European qualifiers harder than South America? I mean, I'll be saying yes if you got to play against France, against Italy, against Spain, against Germany, against all those teams that are really good. I'll be saying like, yeah, for sure, it's way harder to be at the European competition. But you don't gotta do that. You have your group stage where you face trash teams, you know? And nothing against the other countries. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm just saying you're not good enough. It's just like Mexico, man. We're not good enough. It is what it is. We gotta accept where we are. But yeah, in a way that is easier to qualify for South American teams is that it's 6 spots out of 10. So yeah, I guess that is actually make it easier because you can be playing like trash and ended up manage yourself to be at 6th place. It's just like you gotta be just better than 4 other teams and qualify, and you can make it to the World Cup. But I still believe it depends. It depends. You know, I don't want to say CONMEBOL is way better or way harder than European football qualifiers, but let's just stay as this is a tie. You know, let's just stay like that. But I was talking about Argentina. But yeah, the reason why Argentina, I believe, is going to be the World Cup again, the World Cup champion again, it's because, I'm sorry if you listen to that. It happened out of nowhere. Anyway, I was listening to this guy on YouTube. I mentioned him before in here at the podcast. Hello, Dabo. And he was saying, it's because I truly believe, even though Messi is not here, that this Argentinian team is better than it used to be 4 years ago. And he was saying, good. I mean, I'll take what he was saying. I'll give him the credit, to be honest. He was saying, we have more experience than the last World Cup. And by that, he was meaning that McAllister, Julian Alvarez, Cuti Romero, and even Diego Martinez, they already won the World Cup. And we're talking about that was 4 years ago when they were young as hell. I think Julian Alvarez was 20-year-old. I think McAllister was also 20-year-old. Alexis Mac Allister. So yeah, he's right now 26-year-old. 4 years ago, he was 22. And also, this guy was saying that look at the teams that they were playing before. McAllister was playing at Brighton. Julian Alvarez was still playing at River. Cuti, I don't really remember, but I don't think he was at Tottenham yet. Divo Martinez, I don't know if he was already the starter for Aston Villa. But yeah, I mean, definitely McAllister is better. Julian Alvarez is better. The only problem with Julian is the team he plays right now. But that's a topic for another episode. Uh, but the most important thing I want to highlight in here is that they play with heart. I honestly believe that that's a big factor. Like, they're Argentinian are so passionate about football, and they're willing to die on the field. To be honest, uh, they're they just want to win, and they have the good players to do it. Of course, they don't have Messi, they don't have Di Maria. That's why I don't take them as a first take. Cause yeah, let's see how Lautaro Martinez do on the national squad. Cause he always played good for Inter, but Argentina, he sometimes be struggling. And but that's why they had Julian Alvarez. And I mean, let's see. Maybe Mastantuono can give the surprise. I mean, they don't have wings. They don't have wings. They don't have left wing or right wing. But like I said, Mastantuono is there, and anything happen. Anything can happen. They have a solid squad, and like I said at the beginning, I think the most important thing of them is that they know how to play as a team, and that's better. That's better. I mean, you don't have to be the best as long as you're the best team. You don't have to have the best players. You have to be the best team because this is a team sport. I mean, it's not like UFC or like boxing where you gotta be the best to win. You gotta be the best. Nah, you can have good players, but as long as you're the best team, you're good with that. You can win anyone. And but to be honest, guys, I don't want to see them winning the World Cup twice in a row because they're gonna be really cocky, man, and I don't want to see that. But if they win it, I believe that they deserve it. But I'd rather see this than an European team win it. Because guys, the last two World Cups that were hosted by Mexico on the 60 something, I forgot the what year it was. Pelé won the World Cup here, well, in Mexico. And then on the 80 something, I forgot the years, what can I say? Maradona, oh, Mexico 86, yeah, Mexico 86. Maradona won the World Cup in Mexico. So, two of the greatest players of all time won the World Cup in Mexico. I mean, at the end, the final is not going to be at Mexico. But I want to see, like, Brazil won in Mexico, Argentina won in Mexico. Two South American teams. Two Latinos, papi, Latinos. We're fucking Latinos. And two of the greatest players won in Mexico, Maradona and Pelé. So I just want to see a South American team because they have more chances to win the World Cup. In the best case, of course, I hope Mexico win the World Cup, but that ain't gonna happen. um, but yeah, that was my third take. Let's just go over my fourth take, which is a lot of people might be surprised with this because I know, guys. But my fourth take is Spain. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me because I believe a lot of people believe Spain is the main candidate to win the World Cup for the next year. But not me. I don't believe Spain is going to win the World Cup. I believe those guys are a huge contender and we should take care of them. We're going to, like, they're going to be fighting for the World Cup for sure. Do I believe they're going to win it? I don't. But anything can happen, guys. Anything can happen. I mean, I'm not underestimating Spain, but look at this. Of course, they're the current Eurocopa, the champions, and that's why I believe a lot of people believe that they are the main contender, the main candidate. But for me, like, well, actually, I do believe you might be thinking like, but you are Thomas. Literally, Spain won over England, which is your first take, and yes, but hear me out. Carvajal was on his prime. Rodri was on his prime. Lamine Jamal was on fire. Um, they had a lot of other good players like Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo was playing like a maniac that Euro. But right now he's not playing at Barcelona. They had Ferran, who also was having such a good season with Barcelona. Um, was him? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, I don't think so. No, I don't believe it. But anyway, it was Subemendi, it was Merino, it was Laporte and Lenormand. Those guys were on fire on the Euro. They were the best duo of center backs in the Euro. Like they were winning everything. They were playing good with the feet. Yeah, respect. And they had Nico Williams playing also on a really good level, and Cucurella as well. But if you look at this, where are these guys right now? Carvajal is injured. He's not gonna be at his best for the World Cup if he can make it. Rodri, same thing. He's been injured for the last year. He's been struggling to get back in shape. Rodri is not gonna be in his best while the World Cup is gonna be played. Dani Olmo, like I mentioned already, is not playing for Barcelona. Subimendi, Merino, they're good. I'll give you that. Laporte and Lenormand, I don't rely on those guys. Nico Williams, what is Nico Williams been doing since the Euro 2024? Exactly. And Cucurella, I'm not a big fan of Cucurella, but he always be playing good for Spain. And Chelsea lately, yeah, Cucurella it's starting to win in his trust in me. Uh and a lot of people might be arguing like, but bro, you're not watching the bigger picture. Now they have really good players. But yeah, I agree. But they're young. I mean, they now have Pedri, Kubersi, Hausen, and Lamine Jamal, of course, Gavi, Fermin, like a lot of great names right there. But the thing is, like, they lack a lot of experience. They lack a lot of experience, and I believe only Pedri and Lamine Jamal can make a difference. I mean, Kubarsi is good, but I don't think he's good enough yet. Hausen, I believe he's good, but I don't believe he's good enough yet. And the most experienced guys is Oyarzabal, Subemendi, Merino. Probably the goalkeeper, Unai Simon, but I'm not a big fan of Unai Simon either. I believe David Raya should be the starter for Spain, but Luis de la Fuente, he preferred Unai Simon, and that's his decision. I don't see what he says. But yeah, with those guys, Oyarzabal, Subimendi, and Merino, which I believe those guys are the most with the most experience, I don't think it's enough, guys. I don't think it's enough. Like I said, 2 years before it was Carvajal, it was Rodri. Lamin was on fire, and it's not happening that this year. They had Olmo playing like a god, and right now it's not. I don't feel Spain is the main contender. Like I said, if they find, I mean, also I don't believe Luis de la Fuente is the best coach ever. I think he got in a place where a lot of people was facing like good situations on their careers. That's why they won the Euro. Uh, but yeah, I don't think Luis de la Fuente is the best coach. Probably I'm gonna eat my words. Don't kill me. Don't crucify me, guys. But yeah, I don't see Spain winning the World Cup. Like I said, those guys are of course a contender, and anything can happen. And I'm putting them as a fourth on my list. Yeah, I mean they can win the World Cup for sure. I don't think they're gonna happen. And lastly, my first hot take. Of course, where the GOAT is, El Bicho, Portugal. And it's because Portugal, those guys have good players. I believe they have a solid, it's a good combination of good young players plus good experienced guys. But I don't believe those guys play as a team. It's not Argentina. I think they have good individuals, but sometimes they don't know how to play as a team. And that's one of the worst mistakes they have. That's why I don't put them higher because it's if, with this squad, I do believe they can be the first contender for sure. Because they have Vitinha and Joao Neves, which is already a strong midfielder, plus the experience of Bernardo Silva. They have a solid back line with Nuno Mendes and Ruben Diaz, which is young and experienced. And you have a strong Cristiano Ronaldo still. You have a strong Bruno Fernandes. Those guys are experienced guys. So Portugal can give the surprise. And that's the only European team that I will be happy that they win the World Cup. I mean, I'll be happy with any of these teams to win the World Cup. But as I mentioned at the beginning, I want an American team to win the World Cup, especially a Latino, you know. I'm not going to say more. uh, but yeah, Portugal is also a good contender. Let's see what happens. And yeah, that was my top five, guys. Now, I just want to give a. I don't think they're going to win the World Cup, but I want to make a brief mention of Norway because you already know I'm in love with Haaland. And I just want to mention this because, guys, Norway, uh, those guys, as well as England, they ended up undefeated in qualifiers. And the last time they went to the World Cup was in 1998. So that's fun to see because Holland have 8 game playing in the World Cup qualifier and he scored 16 goals plus 2 assists. I'm looking at this stat and I don't know if this is real because for me it's way too much goals. I mean, he gotta score 2 goals per match, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And even though this is not true, he scored at least a goal for per match. You know, Holland. I'm gonna look for the stat right now. So yeah. No, this is right. This is totally right. 16 goals. He scored 16 goals in 8 matches. Bro, that guy's crazy. And plus, Haaland have 55 goals in 48 matches for Norway. He tied already Mbappe, but Mbappe took 94 matches to reach these 55 goals. And if we look throughout his career, Haaland have 333 goals in 375 matches. So, bro, that guy is insane. So, I don't think they're gonna win the World Cup, of course, because they just rely on Holland, Odegaard, and maybe Charlotte. And yeah, but it's gonna be a fun team to see in the World Cup for sure. And now I just want to talk about the Mexican national squad to close this podcast. I have 7 minutes left. I can stay here longer if I want because nobody's recording a podcast after me. But I'll do it brief because I don't want to roast the Mexican national squad. I actually want to stay positive, but those guys be pissing the hell out of me a lot. And I'll start saying that I don't longer watch Mexico matches because, bro, my mental health first. Call me a fake, but it's for me, guys. I mean, I'm done with the Mexican national squad. I'm gonna be supporting them all my life, And I'm gonna when the time of the World Cup, I'll be the first one singing the Mexican national anthem, and I'll be gritando. Fuck, I forgot the word in English. Shouting, screaming. Yeah, that was the word. I'll be screaming the goals they score out loud, and I'll be watching all the games of the World Cup for them. But right now, I rather don't see it because I don't know. I don't believe they're actually that bad. But there's so much ego, and there's people who shouldn't be called to the Mexican national squad. And one guy I have in mind is Charlie Rodriguez. Why we keep calling Charlie Rodriguez to the fucking national Mexican squad? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. That guy has done anything for the national Mexican squad. I don't know about his club. I gotta see more of Cruz Azul games, but he's just too bad. And I don't. I mean, if he's there, he's better than me for sure. But he's not enough to be competing at the highest level. I mean, you think Charles Rodriguez is gonna do anything against Chouameni, for example? You think Charlie Rodriguez is gonna be able to stop Mbappe? Bro, that ain't gonna happen. No one for the Mexican national squad is actually able to stop Mbappe. But are you gonna rely on Charlie Rodriguez? I'd rather rely on Edson Alvarez, even Gilberto Mora. Charlie Rodriguez, come on. Come on. That's how bad we are right now. And I don't know. I'm still loyal to them. But it's different than Las Chivas, for example. I mean, I hate, but I love Las Chivas. And even though, I mean, this season they've been doing good. We're going to be the champions. Woo! Cruz Azul, you're next. You're next on the round of 16. I know, it's actually quarterfinals. Yep, quarterfinals. Yeah. You're next, Cruz Azul. But it's different. I mean, I can still look at Chivas and get excited when they score a goal, but when I see the national Mexican squad, I just feel off. I don't want to see them, and it's just like more of the same. These players complaining about a bunch of bullshit. They being crybabies. Right now, I'm really angry with Edson Alvarez and Raúl Jiménez. Guys, what are crybabies Edson Alvarez and Raúl Jiménez? I mean, I understand. I understand the feeling of frustration. You're not winning matches. I think for the last 8 matches, Mexico tied 4 times and lose 2. I had a data here. Yeah. In the last 6 matches, Mexico had 4 ties and 2 defeats. So it's been 6 matches since the last time we won. So are you actually gonna complain of people booing at you? Like, bro, make sense. Because Edson Alvarez was saying like, how good is it's good? How good is being at your hometown, playing at your hometown? But he was being sarcastic, He was bitching at people because people is booing at them. How you don't want us to boo you, bro? Makes sense, bro. It's like, I honestly believe that Mexicans tend to treat the Mexican national squad as if we were the biggest national team of all time. Spoiler alert, we're not. But the quality before it was better. Players used to play with heart, with passion. And since 2018, I honestly don't see players that play with heart. I mean, 2018, it was Chicharito, Guardado, Herrera. And all those guys that first, they were playing in Europe. And second, they were playing with passion. I mean, you wanted to see the national Mexican squad before. Even though, like I said, we're not Argentina, we're not Brazil, we're not France, we're not at that level. But for example, on the 1998, when we won the Confederations against Brazil, Everyone is like, yeah, of course we can win Brazil. Yeah, we're at the same level, and people stay with that. But right now, if you see the Mexican national squad, the only one that I'm excited. I mean, I used to like a lot Edson Alvarez. Right now, after what he said, I'm really disappointed with him. And now that he moved from Premier League to, I think he's playing Galatasaray. I don't even care. I'm not a big supporter of him anymore. There's only two guys that I care in the Mexican national squad. Let's say three, and probably I'm forgetting some players, but it's just Johan Vasquez and Gilberto Mora. And I like the goalkeeper, El Tala Rangel, but I don't think he's gonna be the 11th starter for 2026. I'm pretty sure they're gonna put Malagon. But other than that, I don't care about any other guy. I mean, Raul Jimenez, he's good. He's the best striker we have right now. Santiago Jimenez, ugh. I mean, right now he's not at his best at club, but when he was playing at Feyenoord, that he was doing a lot of goals. He was not playing good at Mexican national squad either. Raul Jimenez, you cannot rely on him, even though I believe he's the best striker. And I don't have nothing against him. I hope he can score for the first time after 4 World Cups, his first goal. Or the third. I don't know. He never scored a goal in the World Cup before. So I hope he can score for the first time a goal in the World Cup. But man, I mean, like I said, I understand the feeling of frustration. I know you want to blame others when things don't go your way, but make fucking sense. Like, I know you're mad. I understand it's the end of the match. You go into the locker room and people is booing at you. You feel stressed because you're not able to win, and now your people is not supporting you. I totally get it. I totally get it. But guy, makes sense. Makes sense. Of course, people is gonna be mad at you, and it's not just at you, Edson Alvarez. It's with the everyone. It's with everyone. Even, I mean, right now we don't like the. I mean, I personally don't like the Javier Aguirre as the national Mexican coach, because it's the third time he's been in charge, and it's gonna be the third time he's gonna be leading us in the World Cup, and the result is gonna be the same. Probably it's gonna be even worse. We're gonna be at like 2022. We're gonna be disqualified on group stage, and we're not even gonna make it to the round of 16. But yeah, like I said, I don't wanna expand myself too much on this. Uh, I hope they can do better. That's all I'm hoping. And yeah, yeah, that's the only thing I'm gonna say about Mexican national squad. Too much hate for today, and I want to go home as well. It's late already. I'm hungry as hell. And it's finals. I got plenty of things to do. But anyway, I wanted to talk about U20 the U17 World Cup today, but I didn't make my research. All I want to say is that Mexico eliminated Argentina. In your face, Argentinians. uh, those guys are my dad. But they won against them. I mean, Mexico already got eliminated by Portugal on the round of 16. But we won against Argentina. We eliminate Argentina, actually. In your face, guys. But yeah, guys, that's all for me today. I hope you enjoy my podcast today. I hope you enjoy my takes. And if you don't, if you didn't, fuck you. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Uh, I don't think I'm gonna have the. I don't think England's gonna win the World Cup, even though it's my first take. I'm gonna stick with that. I don't think they're gonna win it, but you never know. If I got the right choice, I'm the god. I'm the king of this world. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy the podcast of today. Have a good rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend and be safe out there. Um, yeah, I wanted to say more things, but I just ran out of words, to be honest. So, oh yeah, follow me on Instagram, of course, the Offside Show 19. And yep, that's it for me. Love you guys. And yep, this was the Offside Show.